Hello, guys, and welcome back to the NW Sportscast. The Seattle Seahawks, they get trounced in the Pacific Northwest. They lose 31-10 in a game that, quite frankly, was never close. And once again, guys, I'm just going to give you my initial takeaways right off the jump. This game shows me the Seattle Seahawks are something that we kind of already all knew, but they are not an elite football team. They might not even be a good football team. Are they bad? No, they're not bad. They're certainly not bad. You saw that last week against the Falcons. Seahawks can beat okay to good teams. But when they play real opponents, and when I'm talking about real opponents, I'm saying top 10. I'm saying you got to stop and take your phone out to take a picture because that girl walking by is a little too fine not to. Those are the opponents I'm talking about, because when the Seahawks play people like that, they're unable to do anything. You saw it with the Lions a few weeks ago, and then you saw it with the Niners a couple weeks ago. Against the Falcons, who aren't a bad team by any means, but they're not great. They're not great. And the Seahawks won handedly, and that was a good win. But against the Bills, once again, against the elite competition, against the cream of the crop, the top of the top, the Seahawks can't get it done. And not only can they not get it done, they don't make it close. And as a Seahawks fan that's grown up his whole life, watching these Russell Wilson teams, these Legion of Boom-esque teams that would always make these late fourth quarter comebacks that would always keep it close. It was never not an entertaining game to watch. This Seahawks team, and lots of downsides to Pete Carroll, I get it. But what he always did was made sure the Seahawks played every team close. And it didn't matter if it was, the 32nd ranked team in the NFL or if it was the best team in the NFL. The Seahawks were pretty much always within a touchdown with 5 minutes left to go. And that's something that I loved about the Seahawks. But this year, the Seahawks really haven't had too many close games. I mean, they haven't. Look, against the Broncos week 1, was that a close game? No. They win by 6, but it wasn't close. Seahawks-Patriots, okay, obviously overtime win, but it's a bad Patriots team in a game you could have lost. So you're lucky to escape that one. You trounced the Dolphins. You got blown out by the Lions. You lose against the Giants. That's a close game. But then the 49ers, look, an elite team in my eyes. I know a lot of people don't think that way. The 49ers are losing right now. I still think the 49ers are a top 10 team in the NFL. You lose by 12, and it's not particularly close on Thursday night. Then against the Falcons, you beat them handedly, and then tonight, you lose by a lot. So it seems like the Seahawks and Geno Smith, I don't know if it's a Geno Smith thing, I don't know if it's a Mike McDonald thing, I don't know if it's Ryan Grubb, I don't know what's happening. But what I do know is that the Seahawks consistently, when they get a lead early, can ride that thing out to the end, and when they fall down early, Ryan Grubb and Geno Smith in the offense never really can get rolling. And I think the two perfect weeks to kind of see both sides of the coin was last week against the Falcons and now this week against the Bills. Against the Falcons, you get up early and you kind of keep that momentum. Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, they're looking great. This week, you don't got DK Metcalf. You go down early. You can't convert off that pick that puts you inside the 5-yard line. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Those are the things that the Seahawks, when that happens to them, they're not able to respond. They're not able to battle back. And what Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll would often do is those moments would not let them get down. Against the Packers, NFC Championship, what happened? I know this is an extreme example, but it's a game you guys all remember. The Seahawks play awful for not just 3 quarters, for 3.5 quarters. They play terrible. They had little Drew, who was 9 years old, watching it at 4 a.m. Switzerland time, crying because of how bad they were playing. But to the Seahawks' credit, they never gave up, and they were always able to make something out of nothing. With this team, one bad thing goes wrong, one thing that's off script, and the whole thing is kaput. It's all done. It's over. The Seahawks aren't able to do it, and look, you can't win games in the first quarter. You can't win them in the second quarter. You can't win them in the third quarter, but you can win them in the fourth quarter. And the Seahawks today, the game was pretty much over in the fourth quarter, but when it was over, I didn't see any fight. And to be honest, the fourth quarter, did they look a little better? Sure, it wasn't great. He had the muff punt with 2 minutes left. Stuff like that's unacceptable. And I know a lot of Seahawks fans aren't going to point to those moments because the game was already over. But to me, that shows the ideology of this football team is not where it needs to be at. So the Seahawks still got a lot of work to do. The season is not, anywhere close to over or finished or washed. But I think it does show you this Seahawks team isn't good enough to stick with the elite competition. And I think the Rams are up there with the elite competition. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Nakua, you got those two boys back. That's a pretty dynamic trio and a good offensive line with a Seahawks front that can't convert any pressure. It's going to be tough sledding 1:25 p.m. next Sunday. So, in my mind, you got to chalk that one up to be a loss, and now all of a sudden you have a losing record for the first time in the season. Look, you're getting blessed because the NFC West, although there's a bunch of good teams in the West, have underperformed to start the year. And right now, you got the Cardinals at 4-4. You have the Seahawks at 4-4. They're tied. Rams are 3-4, and the 49ers, they might be 4-4 or 4-5 or 3-4. So lots of things. The NFC West not decided yet at all, but if you want to try to win the West, you're going to need to start to beat good teams. And you did it against the Falcons, but you haven't been able to do it against the Bills, 49ers, Lions. We'll see. Let's get into a few key moments in this game, and then we'll go over some stats. And then we will, get yourself out of here. Thanks for watching the NW Sportscast. If you're here right now, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot to the channel. So let's talk about it. 7-3. Big play in the game was the interception for the Seahawks. That was huge. It was absolutely massive. The Seahawks were able to really get some momentum going late in the first quarter there. And, Mr. Josh Joby was able to pick that ball and was able to take it into the 5. So now as an offense, you've been given an absolute gift. You're 16 years old, you wake up, and you got the Mercedes-Benz outside of your house with a pink bow on it, and you're ready to unwrap that puppy and let it ride. You have the gifts to end all gifts. Is you just got stopped, you punted the ball, and now Josh Allen is giving you the ball back inside the 5-yard line. You have to take advantage of that. So not only are the Seahawks stopped multiple times, not only that, they're also unable to even get 3 points. They can't even get 3 points. It's ridiculous. You get inside the 1-yard line, and the Bills stop you. It looked like it was a brick wall. All of a sudden, the Bills defense looked like the 13 Seahawks. It was ridiculous. So that's inexcusable. That is inexcusable. The Seahawks, to have that happen in that moment, 7-3, you're going up 10-7. Now all of a sudden you give Josh Allen the ball back, and he drives down the field. So the entire landscape of the rest of the game has changed. Not good enough from the Seahawks offense. You got to convert there. Geno Smith finished without a touchdown today. There was only one on the game, and it was Mr. Zach Charbonnet. I don't know, guys. That's not going to get it done. You can talk about the first scoring drive. Geno Smith freaking falls over himself that was the second drive. Geno Smith, the ball gets snapped over his head. Now all of a sudden, 3rd and goal at the 20. You're outside of the red zone on 3rd and goal. That's not a very good sign. You only get 3 points there. The offense was horrendous. The offense was horrendous today. Geno Smith finishes not terrible. 21 for 29, which, that's kind of right where you want it. 212, okay, not much, but we'll take it. 1 pick, picks will happen. Obviously not ideal, but picks will happen. But the 0 touchdowns and the lack of execution wasn't going to cut it today. You know what else isn't going to cut it as far as offense goes? 9 carries for 12 yards. 1 yard on average for Kenneth Walker tonight. 12 yards. And I know us here in Seattle love the number 12. Well, I don't like it after Kenneth Walker's name, because that is not a good sign. If Kenneth Walker, one of the premier talents in the NFL, gets 12 yards, bad things are brewing in the PNW. Because Kenneth Walker should be getting more than 12 yards in a football game and should be running the ball more than 9 times. Ryan Grubb, figure it out. This is ridiculous. It's time to get Kenneth Walker consistently involved. And you cannot tell me that there was not an opportunity to do so today. They were down, yes, but not in the first quarter they weren't. They actually had opportunities to go take a lead if you give Kenneth Walker the ball. What are you doing, Ryan Grubb? Kenneth Walker is one of the best running backs in the NFL. For you to give him 9 carries is unacceptable. And I understand the Seahawks did not have the ball that often today. And that's on the defense, which I'm ready to start talking about the defense soon, but I'm not going to get off this horse quite yet. Kenneth Walker should be having more than 9 carries. He is a better running back than a 9-carry running back. I know this is a pass-first league, but we've seen success with teams running the football this year. And we've seen success when the Seahawks have run the football this year. I mean, what are we doing? Even against the Falcons, where Geno Smith had a good game, but only 14 carries, 69 yards, like, it doesn't move the needle for me. It really doesn't. And I don't think it's Kenneth Walker's fault. I don't. Every time I see that guy get the ball, he moves his leg forward. He's able to make the first guy miss. He's smart. He's able to get to the sticks. He can pass catch as well as run. I don't know, guys. Offensively, I think that's the biggest problem right now, other than maybe Geno Smith making one too many mistakes, is, the inability of the offense to give Kenneth Walker the ball. Defensively, there's not much to say. Geno Smith. Josh Allen, he looked good today. 24 for 34, 283, 2 touchdowns and an interception. And someone who will look even better with James Cook. 17 carries, 111 with 2 tutties. He was dicing up our defenders today. And something that happened a couple weeks ago against the 49ers in Lumen Field was the defense's inability to tackle. They needed multiple guys every single time to bring Jordan Mason down. Same thing tonight against James Cook, who is, by all accounts, on the decline. He was making you look like you were playing, with your granddad's friends on a Sunday on Thanksgiving. Just absolutely juking the crap out of people, making guys miss. People were tugging on jerseys. It wasn't enough. Seahawks were tackling their own defenders. Credit the game plan from the Bills. They've turned into a run-first team by some accords. And today they run the football 17 plus 6, 23, and they run the football 27 times. So just about split with the passing game, and it worked out today for them. Not good enough. Seahawks got a tackle. You saw it all day long. Look, you can't get it done. When you need multiple guys to tackle, this Mike Macdonald defense is schemed so that the first guy has to make that tackle. Good or bad, it's schemed where there will most likely be a guy within the catch or within the run in the first 1 second. But the catch-22 to that is that you need that first guy to tackle. And James Cook made the Seahawks look absolutely silly today. Alright, guys, so this is the part of the video where I go over our player of the game. The NW Sportscast player of the game today is Josh Joby. Josh Joby, welcome. Your first time being player of the game, and you deserve it, kid. Interception would have been the game-changing, momentum-building play. But nope. Geno Smith not able to get it done in the red zone within the 5. Good game, though, today. 5 tackles, 7 total with 2 assisted, and an interception. one of the only bright spots for the defense today. And you deserve our player of the game. Honorable mention on the offensive side is JSN. With DK Metcalf out, which, a lot of the DK stands can now hang their hat on this game to say why he's really important to the team. I do think DK is important to this team. I want to say that. But I do think that DK Metcalf isn't the reason we lost this football game. He was great today. JSN, 6 receptions, 69 yards. Didn't get a touchdown, but no one did offensively other than Mr. Charbonnet out of UCLA. He did good things. Someone that wasn't great, Tyler Lockett. Disappeared. You think with DK gone, you kind of can turn back into that number one option. Nope. Just one catch. You're letting guys like A.J. Barner out-reception you. He had 2 for 34. Tyler, just 1 reception, 9 yards today. Love Tyler Lockett. Love him to death. Glad he's on this team, but I think we're finally starting to see Tyler Lockett kind of turn that corner, see his age start to catch up to him. Tyler Lockett's days in a Seahawks jersey might be coming, sooner rather than later. I think he's got more years of football left in him after this year for sure. I'm not saying that, but you can definitely start to see that decline from Mr. Tyler Lockett. All right, guys, I think that'll do it. Seahawks lose 31-10. Big game against the Rams in a week. Thank you guys for watching the NW Sportscast. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That will do it for me. I'm Drew Albaugh saying so long and good night. And as always, go Seahawks and Mariners. See you guys.